Good evening, good evening, good evening. Let me just see if I can make this phone turn off. I really don't need that. Thank you very much. That's the problem with going live, right? Is the fact that anything can happen. And we are, as always, we are here. It's 8 o'clock and we are, well, you might be inclusion, you might be online. You may be listening to this from afar. If you are, then I will just have a look at the comments. If you do want to post a comment, you should be able to. Some destinations can't. We are live on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. We're literally everywhere, but that's where we should be. That's the only place for inclusion to be, is everywhere, always, all the time. And if you think that we're not, you're wrong. People have asked me who I think I am, and actually we've been talking about it for 2 weeks. I think that maybe the team around me have heard enough from me. I'm Mandy-Jayne and we're in inclusion. We are getting ready to go live, not just online, but live in Cardiff on Friday the 29th. That's Good Friday. It's the best Good Friday you'll have had, because inclusion's going live in Wales. It's just the first of the 4 nations, and we will then, we'll be like a rash. We're going to take over the other 4 nations slowly. We are in Wales this month. We are in Edinburgh in June, and we're in London in July. I think there's only Ireland waiting to receive us, and that won't take long. Believe me, this time next year, Ireland will be ours. So we are still in inclusion. I've been talking for the last 2 weeks about who we think we are, who they think they are. And I'm asking tonight who they think they are. And what about us? Because frankly, I don't feel very included. I don't feel very included in anything. And I'm going to leave it open to other people who I'm going to bring on in a second, because I am here with some incredible people, with Kelly and Philippa and Chris and Alexia. And, well, anybody else that wants to join us, please, if you've got the link, join us. If you are only here in the audience, that's fine too. We are inclusion. It is all about us. It's all about you too, because we all deserve a space at the table. So I'm going to just, without any further ado, see if I can see all of us. I'm not very good at this. Oh, I am. I'm very good at this. Look at that. I am actually good at this. Everybody's on stage. Are they? Yeah. Is there one more? I think there's one more to come up. I'm not sure if they want to be. I'll add them if they want to stop off. They can. If you want to drop off the stage, you're all welcome to. I didn't know whether you'd thrown yourself off the stage or you fell off. Anyway, good evening, everybody. We're here again. I think this is the 4th one. And I also think that what we've got going on, to be honest, is a new way of doing social media. I don't see that many people doing these lives. And certainly when they do, I think they're always quite orchestrated. So I think you all know that we're not orchestrated. And what we do is what I'd call iterative. It's a lived experience. It's a process that happens. It hasn't mattered whether we've been in Baswa, hasn't mattered whether we've been online, whether we've been face to face, whether we've been in the abyss. We've been who we are, and we've been exactly as we are. So who do you think you are? But who do you think they are? I don't know which answer I want tonight. I think I just want to know, what about us, really? What about us? How are we all? Who wants to say?
Chris? We're all right. I think we're all right. We're together.
We are together.
So we're all right, aren't we?
We are together. Yeah, are you looking forward to Friday?
I can't wait. Yeah.
You in Cardiff?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. And you've got a story to tell. And you're welcome to hold it till Friday. But is there anything you want to share tonight?
Well, I think, who do they think they are? I'd like to know. I'd like to ask them. That's the thing. I don't know why people keep asking us. I think we should ask them who they think they are. And why they think they can dictate their. Why don't they come? There's lots of people pontificate, and that's using a polite word. Pontificate about what they think we can do, what we can't do, whether we should be work for, whether we shouldn't be work for, whether we should be claiming benefits, whether we shouldn't be claiming benefits, blah blah blah. They never actually seem to come up with a solution or a way of helping. They come up with lots of problems and lots of reasons why we're this a and other, but they don't. And I've yet to actually hear anybody other than a certain MJ, I think her name is, actually come up with a solution to all this and accessibility partners to put another hat on, But yeah, that honestly, I'm being serious. I have never, in all of my life, anything that I've had, anything that's come up, very, very rarely, and I no, still can't think of any. If I actually come to somebody and say, now what you actually need, what would be a good idea is if you did X, Y, and Z, or if we helped you get X, Y, Z, until I met yourself. But I can't think. But the problem with that is that's over 40 years. Okay, we'll knock a few off for being naught to whatever. Well, 7. Well, but even so, I say that.
You were born like that, right?
Yeah. And then nobody, conversation we were just having, people who assume and look and say, you can do this, you haven't done that. I always use that flying example of going flying, coming back, being told by a teacher, oh, no, come on, what did you really do this weekend? No, I went flying, I've got a logbook, that's what I did, but I couldn't have possibly done that. Oh, no, you couldn't possibly, why didn't you just go and, be happy in the corner and read a book or something? That's what, and that's, yeah. But yeah, I'm quite happy to read a book, but it's not the best. But I also, who do we think we are? We think we're us, and that's inclusion us, as in the us in the middle of inclusion here. We're us, unapologetically us, and if we want to. Whatever we want to do, whether that we go to the BASWA and be part of their lived experience panel, and their lived experience panel with social workers who look surprised at our lived experience, which surprised me. And it's not
me as well. What surprised me, Christian, was that there weren't very many of us at a place that was put on for lived experience. I mean, the whole conference was about lived experience, and yet I thought there was going to be loads of us. I thought there'd be hundreds of people with lived experience there.
Yeah, it was me, Alexia, you, Trey, and a couple of James and a couple of others, and Jew, and that was lived experience. Well, lovely, but I'm sure there's a lot more lived experience, and you would have hoped that perhaps social workers might have had a few ideas.
Well, I thought they might have had a few of their own.
Well, you'd have thought.
Maybe it was like the telethon. Maybe we're still in the telethon years where they're too embarrassed to say, actually, the government isn't providing what we need. So we do still need to be in the 80s, and we haven't actually taken any power away. We're still playing that game. So maybe I have to say that I feel that we, as a disabled entrepreneur club, actually there's quite a lot of irony. It's quite a juxtaposition that we are having to ask for handouts from ourselves. Let's be honest. The amount of money that's been created, the amount of money in the Disabled Entrepreneurs Club has been created by other disabled people for other disabled people. Let's be honest.
Well, of course, and the overriding story that people like to say is these, let's be honest, scrounging off the state, not doing anything. Well, I can guarantee you that that's not because everybody I work with, everybody I'm with inclusion with, we are all helping each other. If you look at the list of people who have donated to the Disabled Entrepreneurs Club, they are all a list of people, here, and people in inclusion in who and let's be honest, how do I put this delicately? Certain governmental parties who have been in quite a lot. I mean, that's the way they do it. They fund each other. That's how it works. They're. I mean, if you want to use "I'll scratch your back" analogies, be my guest because we're live. Anyway, but it's that is the way we're doing it. But we're doing that to lift people up out of poverty because just in inverted commas, big inverted commas, because they've got a disability. Now, I don't see, and I've thought about this a lot, but I don't see anybody who's got a disability other than having a disability, whatever that may be, whether that be ADHD, dyspraxia, dyslexia, arms that don't work, needing a wheelchair. I don't see them actually any different to anybody else. as such, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but they're just people, aren't they?
They
They're
are.
just, they're just other people, you know. And now, so why do we have to put usually why does everybody have to have their own cupboard, to use your cupboard analogy? And that goes for other marginalised sections of society as well. Of course, it does. You know, the LGBT community, whatever. So I'm not. I hope nobody thinks that I'm banging the drum for one thing and not including other people, because but this is our cupboard, if you like. So you're in our cupboard at the moment, but we're quite happy to go to other people's cupboards. And um, but I don't see. It's just different. I mean, I know that that is the way the world works. Divide and conquer is the way the world works. You divide into sections, and it makes people feel better about themselves. Who do they think they are? They think they're better than us. Is what they do. Is what they think. I mean, that's a basic answer to that question, isn't it? But I mean, I could go on like this for hours, and we'll probably never actually come to a sensible conclusion, because there isn't a sensible conclusion, because if you analyse it, and that's another thing that certain people rely on. I'm trying to be really careful with what I say. They don't analyse, because if they analyse it, if anybody sits down and analyse it, it's a bit like, okay, Boris Johnson. If you sit down and analyse him, he doesn't make sense. But people don't, and they just let him get away with it. But it's the same thing, right? If you if you sit down and analyse the situation that some of us find ourselves in, or did find ourselves in, or it doesn't make sense, because there's no logical reason why any of us shouldn't be at work. There isn't any why we shouldn't. You know, what is it? So okay, you can't get there. Well, that doesn't matter anymore, because we're talking to each other online, so that's irrelevant. That's gone. So you know, we can't find you a job. Well, no, well, that's not true, is it? And you know, you can't.
Thank you.
Yes, and you can't run your own business. Well, you can, can't you? Because you know, we've got lots of people who say they can, doing what a myriad of things, you know, and with lots of other people who will help them. So this isn't actually getting us anywhere. Only chasing us round in the tails.
It's just not
Who do
true.
they think they are? I don't think they know, because if they knew, I think they might be able to help.
I
Sorry,
don't
carry
think
on.
they do. No, thank you. I don't think they do. I think you're absolutely right. And talking about you know, can we run a business? Can we do what we're doing? Can we do anything with ourselves? For everyone that's sitting there going, no, absolutely can't. I didn't get any GCSEs. I haven't had a job in 15 years. The only thing I've got is my disability. I'm just going to say, Vicky, you're live on social media. Hey, good evening. How long have you known me?
About 20 years. I think.
I don't think we're that old. I'm 21, me. So what do you think you've got to bring to what's your plan for workfulness, Vic? What you doing?
Well, I've just done that lived experience, expert by experience course. And it's for the storyboard app. And I'll be an expert by experience in addiction and mental health, maybe a few other things. I've clocked up a few experiences in my time.
So right.
And I've got to do my bio for it today, and people will book me for £20 for me to set goals and help them through their thing. For half an hour, £20 for half an hour, talking to an expert by experience.
Exactly, and it's my opinion. Well, it's not my opinion. It's my experience that the lived experience board has just opened in Wales, literally, this week. It has literally just opened, and it's going to be mirrored across all 4 nations. And we know this because, of course, you've just been on a course for an expert by experience, which is the same thing. So we're going to have about 27 different labels for this job. Expert by experience, lived experience, panel member, disability expert, expert by disability experience, you name it. We're going to have addiction, lived experience. It's going to morph this industry. But literally, people want to hear how it's been, because there's been so many atrocities. you've been part of those atrocities, haven't you, Vic?
Yep. Just give me a clue. Sorry.
I'm thinking about all of them, but I mean, and anyone that wants to feed in. But over the last 20 years, I think you can probably explain to people, or at least confirm for me, we've had to fight for you to be and attend and stay and graduate university. We've had to fight for you to be and have experience of certain family and of benefits, housing, and
Yeah, actually, I found I was looking through old photos and I'd screenshotted a couple of years ago when you said you'd spoke to the PIP like tribunal or whatever it was, and so you have to fight for everything. So it's like that's the lived experience thing, though, because like if you've got mental health, it's not really mental health; it's dealing with benefits, like navigating that. It's getting your housing situation sorted, like everything.
Or you end up having to be your own multidisciplinary team, and you are somebody that I've watched over the last 20 years. I remember you saying to me, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but saying, well, I just don't know. I don't know what the future holds. And I said, we need to get ready for the future because it's coming.
Yeah.
And
actually, like only a couple of months ago on this inclusion, you said to me that I had to do something with being me, and I was like, well, how do I get money from being me? And then this thing came up and I was like, bingo.
bingo. Never mind bingo, it's disability bingo now, mate. I'm telling you that you are going to be looking back and going, hang on a minute, that is the future that we were getting ready for. In that 20 years, you couldn't have understood what you were learning, but the people that you fought, well, not the people, but the services and the access that you fought for, I believe you are now resilient and strong and able to help other people more than ever before. So I'm really proud you're here. Thank you for being here. And I'm excited that you are now going to be able to use the product of the last 20 years to the greater betterment of you and everybody else, right?
Yeah, and my daughter's got a job interview tomorrow for the Wilf Ward Trust, and she's hoping that they're going to make reasonable adjustments for her because they've said that they will ask her in the interview if she's got a disability, and she's going to say yes, mental health, and she's also got this like gynecology pain problem that she's seeing the doctors for and everything. So she's sort of on that track now as well.
Well, I think now that actually our children, I'm thinking about, our children, and I know yours and then mine, right? I'm thinking about, and actually, as much as I find them quite challenging, my children, actually, they know who they are and they know what they are entitled to, and they understand whether they want to play part of that game. I think the idea that everybody's just going to put up and shut up is pretty much gone.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, Stacey said she just feels like she's ready and she's actually really excited, and she's going to be doing like nursing with the Wilf Ward Trust for people with disabilities of all ages and various mental and physical disabilities, and she really wants to do it. So, I hope they do give her reasonable adjustments because, like, she is in pain quite a lot.
So do I, because do you know what? Back to the conversation back on Clubhouse, the idea that we are a commodified entity, that each hour our production, our value is determined by what we produce in the hour, has to change. It has to change. And I think some balance needs to be had, but the only way we're going to do that is if we're all at the table, because I think then we have different skill sets. I was not very well on Friday. I was in hospital Thursday night, and that's a pretty normal thing, right? You've seen me in and out of hospital. You've visited me on more than one ward, Vicky, haven't you?
Yeah. I didn't think you'd be doing a marathon within 2 years of that visit.
No, neither did I. Neither did anybody, right? So on Friday, I felt, for goodness sake, I was still then doing it differently. I was still using my phone. I was still but making TikTok things in my bed. I was still active. You can't change who you are, actually, no matter where you're that person. And so we have to be able to evolve to move to how people are. You know, if you're 9 months pregnant, you're not as active as if you're 3 when you're running around the office. We're okay with that. Well, we need to be okay if somebody's a bit burnt out and they need a bit of a rest, or, you know, they've got a endometriosis flare, or their IBS is cracking on, or, you know, they have endometriosis and their period's particularly bad. So 1 week a month, they're not that cracking. We just have to start living with reality and not this idea that we can create a human and it just stays the same. We're not a bloody production. We're not a thing that you can make. We might think we are, but just because they've been banging on about it for 100 years doesn't mean it's true.
No, and I think, like, with the government at the moment, they've really started an attack on just calling it work shy, lazy, signed off on, sick. Well, if they want us all to work, then they are going to have to, like, give reasonable adjustments and just chill out on this, like, robot kind of, like, thing.
On that,
go on.
Sorry, on that, there's 6 million people unemployed in the country, and 400,000 of those are on benefits. Right? Quite what they've done with the other 5.5 million, I don't know. Swept them under the carpet. But I mean, as you say, they're running it for a privileged few. I'm sorry, they firmly disagree. The current government are running the country for the privileged few, and they're not taking advantage of the workforce they've got. They're just saying, well, they work shy and we've got to crack down on it.
Completely inactive, I think.
Economically. Oh yes, I forgot they use big words.
Economically, all about the coin.
Yes. So, you know, whereas if they actually give us it, you know, in our small circle here, we know that if you give people the tools, the time, and the inclination, we can do anything we want to do. We can, right? We can change the world. But it's my conjecture that that's not necessarily what they want. They don't want too many people changing the world, because if they get too many people changing the world, they might just change their world. Hey.
Yeah.
Who do they think they are? They think they're better than us. Yes. They think they can control our world. But who are we? We're who they've created. We are the army that is going to fight them, because they have created this army by their attitude towards us.
Yeah, well, they always say revolutions always consume themselves. Well, we are getting militant tonight, aren't we?
We are getting militant. But I'll be honest, you know, I've been in education. And I was thoroughly disappointed. I've talked about it already on Clubhouse tonight. I was disappointed for my own kids. People around me have watched me have to pull my kids out of state education one by one. In sixth form, in Scarborough, Yorkshire Coast College, it used to be called, when I worked there, literally I had staff members coming to me and saying, who do you think you are? Literally back to that. Who do you think you are as a sixth form teacher, taking your kids and putting them in private school? What sort of left-wing politician are you? You know, what sort of left-wing woman are you? Not politician, left-wing woman are you? And I'm like, I'm a mum that needs her kids to have a bloody school. What do you mean? I'm not bringing my politics into the fact that my bairn's upset. Sorry, I sound like Yorkshire now. I'm not leaving my kid in a state school just to make you feel better about my political allegiance, mate. I'm not bothered how little money I'm on. If I can give all my money to this school so my kid isn't crying every day, do you know what? That's what I'm going to do. And that was my choice. But believe me, they all came to tell me who they thought I was and who they thought I should be in that further education college, what I should do with that money and how I shouldn't be giving it to these people that are privileged or whatever they wanted to call it. Actually, I was just desperate. It wasn't about privilege. It was about him actually wanting to go to school, right? And let's remember, now we've got all these school refusers. How many are going, I'm not going, I won't go there? Well, I'll be honest, I think all 3 of mine would have been in exactly that position. I left them in that position.
Well, when Stacey was in sixth form, I was sort of emailing for reasonable adjustments for her, because she's got BPD now, and she's only just getting to the bottom of this possible endometriosis sort of pain thing. But yeah, the only reasonable adjustment they would give was give her extra sessions in the library or something. They want bums on seats. Like, we've got the internet. Like, she could have had stuff emailed, you know. Like, but they said we get our funding for attendance. Yeah.
And interestingly, absolutely, we're talking about it. It's really fascinating, this commodification of the unit of human beings. It's like DSA.
Yeah.
I was in a group of tutors yesterday, and we were talking about the fact that we used to have CPD, continued professional development. We used to have our insurance paid for. We used to have conferences paid for. We used to be on double the hourly rate. We used to be able to have cancellation and still get paid. We used to have it that if a student finished half an hour early, that hour that was booked was paid. I mean, honestly, you have no idea the erosion in the last 20 years. And that's down to the commodification of my time, the same as her. The commodification sitting in that library gave that school that unit they could claim, whether or not it was in her best interest. How is that helpful? Do you remember when they wouldn't let me see you virtually, Vicky? Do you remember when they wouldn't let you be off college and we had to deal with all of that? And DSA didn't even want us, even when you weren't well, to come.
Yeah.
You had to come into the office physically for me to be able to claim my hour.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. Well, it's even worse that now, because the other thing that I think I'm going to do is, because I've got my degree now, if I do these National Autistic Society courses, I can do, and I think I can do it on Zoom, I can do autism support for DSA students.
Yes, you can. And I'll tell you this now for nothing. I'll tell you this now for nothing. Shall I?
Yeah.
You will achieve more for those students because you are a fellow disabled person than any human that decides to just get a degree and then go and do those units. I'm telling you now. And the idea that well, I can't wait for you to do those units. And if you would like me to send you the learning unit, actually, the one for, interestingly, then I have the whole of the learning units for the entire of the qualification, because I've not just done it, I've delivered it. So
that's cool. Yeah. Well, I've looked into it. They're on the National Autistic Society website, the 5 that you have to do.
They're amazing. They're not amazing, no. They're amazingly good for you to go through. The learning that I've got from a different university is a bit more comprehensive. And once you've done them, those qualifications, there's another one that you can do that really allows you to look at case studies. And that's phenomenal. When I did it, you were meant to do 3 case studies. There were 11, and you were meant to select 3, which is that I need a study skills tutor to help me read the instructions, because I did 11 and sent all 11, and they said to me, you only need to do 3. And I was like, well, you know, I'm learning different, and I didn't really read the instructions properly. I thought it was just a bit easy having to do 3, and I sent all 11. So I've done all 11 of the case studies, not because I wanted to, just because I'm neurospicy, right?
Yeah, that's a new one, neurospicy.
This going back to who they think we are. I was saying about the careers. I've told him this before, but my careers teacher asked me what I was going to do at the end of GCSEs. I said, well, I'm going to do A-levels. He said, oh, no, I don't think you are. I don't think. What are you interested in? I said, what do you mean? Well, do A-levels. No. Well, I said, well, I'm vaguely interested in the railway. And so he phoned Liverpool Street Station, and he got a 3-word answer, which ended in off. I think, and he said, well, you probably don't want to work there. And then that September, I walked in my suit and doing A-levels, and are you doing MVQs? Now, there's nothing wrong with anybody who's doing MVQs at all, but at the time, the A-levels were a more, And I said, no, I'm doing, what do I do? Four A-levels and an AS. Yeah. And he just sort of, oh, right, okay. wandered off and sort of walked into a locked door type attitude. But you know, and who do they think they are? It's all about pre-perception, and they've got to, it's got to stop, but it never will.
No, well, I think it will because, like I say, I'm not going anywhere. And
No,
even after we've gone now, if you look on the YouTube channel, I think there's 56 hours of footage, which, you know, is just going to get cut up forever and sent out to the entire world until the end of time. And we're going to be like the atomic bomb, except more far-reaching.
Could I just say something, MJ, just to feed into what Vicky was saying? So if you are interested in learning more about autism, I can vouch how wonderful London South Bank University is. I don't know, you know, if you were interested, but they do a really, really good course. And MJ supported me whilst I was studying there. The support is fantastic from the uni. And, you know, you get the dissertation really, really did do me the world of good. And you know, now I'm an AT trainer. I've been doing that for quite a long time, and you know, but what I believe in is having equality and not someone telling me you can't do this because you've got X, Y, and Z. And I tell you what, these days I'm struggling to find slots to fit people in. So you know, you've got to have that ethos about meeting people where they're at. And I can also say that Sheffield Hallam, one of my autistic friends, did his autism course online through them, and you know, they're online. So you know, there's just another option. I just thought I'd put my two pennies in.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, but equally, go do those 5 and then go get the lived experience of being a mentor, Vicky, because I'm telling you now, it's only when you meet people and you tackle their challenges that you realise that it is all about being who and what and how you are, and you've got exactly what you need. I'm telling you, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm excited because you've got all the options, and that degree. It's interesting, isn't it? Because I've heard this from a couple of the people that work with me who've gone, but I'm going to get this undergraduate, and what the hell does that do for me, MJ? Because I've looked, and to be a psychologist, I've got this many years, and to be a counsellor, I've got to do this many years, and to be a social worker, I'd need to also do, and it's true. But once you get an undergraduate, they can't take it away from you, whatever happens, can they, Vic?
No, mine's in fine art, but you know, you can kind of springboard onto anything.
I agree. And the thing is, I think that's what people, you know, hopefully as they're going through the middle of the degree can understand that once you've got that level 6, actually, it gives you a gateway to an awful lot of other things, like an increased hourly rate.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's kind of what some people do. And for some of the jobs that I'm looking at the hourly rate that I want now, if I don't have a complete PhD, then I can't have it. So it doesn't stop this lines of where they believe we are valuable doesn't stop happening. So as far as I'm concerned, as Christian said, you know, you've never met anybody that gave solutions. I just don't think there's any point in us just whinging. I think we need to express how it is and do something about it. And I hope that Vicky's here to prove that that's what I've always done. I've just got on with it. I've just done something about it. And as soon as they change it, we pivot to whatever it is that they need us to do. That's kind of why we played it, isn't it, Vic?
Yeah, definitely. Got to be ready for them.
The thing is, I remember us putting that together when you were at uni. I'm just going to say this. Me and Vicky sat down together and we found an unlimited pot. Not unlimited money, but from money. And we matched it with the University of Hull, the unlimited pot. We put it together and we put a number of people through a 6 or 12, I can't remember. But
I think it's 12 weeks.
It was 12-week program where they created a portfolio and they put on an exhibition at our local art gallery. And they just did so phenomenally that one of them's on their PhD now. These are people that didn't have A levels, didn't have any chance of going to university, and didn't have any even an interview. And from that 12-week program, we brought the university tutors to us. We put our students into the university to do art live with the tutors. And then we brought the tutors down to the space that they did their exhibition. And all of those students were trained upstairs in the charities building. So we had the charity, the university, the art gallery, and then the idea that they all could go and make a coin from what they were creating It's what we've got now. This was just, it was a trial to prove that actually that's what you could do with 10 people who didn't really have an idea about what they wanted to do. And we did it for 500 quid match funding, didn't we, Vic?
Yeah. It's pretty good, that. And they all got like £50 to spend on art materials so that they actually could like relax and paint or whatever they wanted to do.
Exactly. And the rest of it, we blagged. We got it for free. We got it gifted. We got all of our tutors to work. It was a community effort that I have to say was outstanding. And the people that trained and supported were also disabled students or previously disabled students. It really was by disabled people for everybody in the community for next to nothing. Exactly what this government are asking for, except they're going to have to give people like us agency to do it the way that works. Not the way that they prescribe, in order that this hour means that in this time, in this way, with this person, and only this way for everybody, because it doesn't work.
Yep. And why do you have to attend buildings? We don't need to. We have communication devices.
Absolutely, 1000%. And I just think we need to do it together. We need to do it differently, and we need to do it from a lived experience. And that's pretty much why we're here. Do you know what? It's just exciting. It's exciting. I think it's exciting that it's 2024 and I can't believe I'm still alive. Like Vicky said 2 years ago, she wasn't sure what I'd be doing, but she didn't think I'd be doing a hand cycle marathon. At the weekend, on Friday, we are live in Cardiff, and I have a cameraman coming who's also going to take some camera footage of me on my bike and us in the complex and people that are coming and the event that happens, because I think that this footage needs to be shared. That actually you can go through all of that and still move country, go and do a new degree and start a new business, job, whatever. Actually reinventing ourselves has to be the matrix for disabled people. Because whether I've been economically active or not, I've been viable, useful, and helpful to society, actually. And I've been economically viable, and I've been economically inactive. I don't know what the word is, but I've always wanted to help and support me. Us.
Well, even if I'm at the moment economically inactive, I do loads like supporting other people with various stuff and neighbours and, you know, like.
Exactly. We're the unpaid society that is supporting society. Actually, I'm not sure. Well, I do. I think actually these stories need telling, and they need telling loud and proud, Vic, because the amount of people that I support just in, well, you can imagine, you know what Scarborough's like. When I walk down the high street.
Yeah.
It's difficult to go downtown with me, isn't it? And not have 2, 3, 4 hours to spare, actually.
Yeah.
Because we've all supported each other, because there was nobody else there for us, was there? And now in Cardiff, I've got 900 families around me. And I'll tell you, in the other building, the man on the top floor, you'll see him at the weekend when you come. He'll tell his story, because for the last 2 years, I've been supporting him, who's pretty much in a very similar situation to some of the people that you remember in Yale. Anyway, it's the same situation, and he's going to be helping me out on Friday, you know, because that's what we do, isn't it? We help each other. Would anybody else like to feed in? Kelly, are you there? I don't know whether you want to. I know you're on stage. I can see your doggy, but I can't see. Oh, maybe Kelly's busy. Oh, there she is.
I'm here.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, yeah, tired. But okay. Just listening to everybody and just feeling good.
Good, I'm glad, because you're in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, the fact that you are like in line with an Alexia and a Vicky, I just think we've got a powerful middle here. I think it's a bit like the spine of things. I've never seen such a 3 power. Like, good grief. I'm not being funny, but like, really, you need to know Vicky. You do. 20 years. This is like in 20 years, Vic. Kelly will go, yeah, I knew MJ 20 years ago, except like I'll be 104 million years old.
Yeah,
it's exciting, and I feel like, you know, you've only just arrived, Kelly, and yet I feel like you're as comfortable here as Vicky is, and like I've known Vicky a million years.
Well, it's just my eyes have been opened, and I've worked for over a decade for free, I've given my goods and services for free, for want of another way of putting it. But I just feel like for the first time in many, many years, I feel like good things are coming.
They are.
And I believe it.
They are.
I believe it. And it's been part of this movement for sure.
I'm telling you, they're coming. They're not just coming. The better times are coming and they aren't going away. That's the thing, because they have no other choice. This is it. I've been watching this, honest. Last 20, 30 years, Vicky will tell you that there's been times I've sat there where we've been talking Foucault and, you know, the oppressed and pedagogy of the oppressed and you name it, where I've gone, the revolution is coming. And I'm telling you. The only thing is I've been banging on for 20 years, so I hope I'm right.
You are.
I think we've been quietly coming up behind, haven't we, Vicky? Quietly.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you made me cool about my disability and like made me see it through a different lens, and that we have rights and blah blah blah. And now I go around telling everybody that I meet that as well.
That's what we like to hear. It's an infection. I hope
Yeah.
for the whole of your life. I hope you sit with every psychiatrist and tell them how you are worth everything.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. Sorry.
So, because MJ has been banging on for a couple of weeks about who does she think she is, I ended up going on social media today and talking about who I think I am, because she made me think so much I couldn't keep it to myself.
Yeah.
So,
time with this woman is precious, and she'll teach you a lot. So come to these meetings and we need to all chat, like they're valuable.
I'm not going anywhere. I've told MJ, having come into my life, she doesn't leave it. That's the deal. I don't care how many TIAs, hospital, whatever she has. She doesn't leave it. I have to go first.
I said to MJ ages ago, she's stuck with me now, so she's not
going anywhere. Even if
you're not going anywhere. You
still
talk about that bridge in Cardiff, Unfinished Bridge. When we come next Friday, remind me, I've got a song on my phone called Bridge to Better Days. Might be useful.
Ah, what a great song that sounds. You know, when Dale came into Pete's room on Clubhouse and said, that's Dale Wyatt. Is it
Wyatt?
Dale? Yeah. He's director of
Suzuki UK.
Oh, man, thank goodness for a Christian. I need a name. I can't remember. I'm sorry, Dale. It's not your fault. It's because I had a TIA. I knew where he worked last week. I'm telling you. I did. I kept banging on about it. I can't remember where he was now. Yeah.
It's all right. Only I didn't recognise him in Cardiff, but hey.
The man I was, the man I am, the man I was, and the man I'm going to be. And when he shared that song title and I went and looked at it, I was like, wow. That is so powerful. And I think that, was it the bridge? What did you say?
Bridge to Better Days is Joe Bonamassa.
The Bridge to Better Days. And we've got a bridge at one side of this gallery. We've got a gate at the other. I mean, how powerful is that? And it's a space that people haven't yet, frequented. And I'm telling you, when you look, I was saying it this morning, when you look at, not only what we used to think about how we were organized. So a walnut was good for our brain because it looked like a little brain, right? And we thought that, and then originally, before we thought about we were all important because of what we could bring in, we thought that there was an idea that plants had magical properties if they grew around near each other. Well, now we know about mycelium and the fact that trees run mushrooms have mycelium that run under the ground that help trees communicate. And actually, we know that walnuts are good for the brain. So the way that we have organized what we think about each other has been done through the eyes, through what we see, and therefore what we've been created, what we've been made as it needs to be this tall in this way that does this job for this many times, 40 hours a week, 2.4 children, a woman married to a man, they have 2.4 children, they go to work, they do that, then they retire at this time, and then they die. Like, we've been raised on that, and it's just made up.
They talk about sorry, Vicky. They talk about robots.
Go ahead.
That's that's the perfect expression of a robot, isn't it? Do this, do that, do this, do that. And I'm not
Yeah,
a robot. No.
I did a good poem last night at the craft bar, and it was like about this most recent Rishi Sunak war against disabled people, I called it, you know, and yeah. I'll have to find my other phone. It's on my other phone. Yeah, just a sec.
Yeah. I think that would be great for you to finish with that. I think we could finish about if we're staying on till 9, we can leave whenever you're ready, Vicky. Whenever we have.
Yeah,
can we finish? And I've never heard it ever.
No, you've never heard it. I only wrote it the other day.
Well, I'm telling you, it's the right thing to do. So I'm excited to hear that. I love the fact we don't know we're live on social media, and I don't know. And do you know what? That's the trust that we've evoked over 20 years, right? I know what you've written will absolutely be right for tonight.
Yeah.
Is anybody
So,
else?
I'm ready.
You ready?
Rishi started his attack upon the so-called work shy. It's time to fight back. The papers are all running with the lie, while thousands in our community die. Yes, the disabled community are being harassed. Apparently they're to blame for Britain's economy being so lame. It's just more and more of the same. Lies to cover up the billionaire wealth, setting the population against each other while snooping in bank accounts. It's so Big Brother. The campaign against immigrants fell flat in his face. The war on disabled seems to be gaining pace. These ideas are so divisive, we can't lay back and be dismissive. I wonder about my fellow people. Do they believe this shit or see it as a nasty trick? This work rhetoric really makes me sick, using job centre staff to carry out their orders, control the masses, then raise their champagne glasses at the free bar in the Houses of Parliament. That's giving the public purse a bit of a dent. I've paid a lot of taxes in my time. I've smoked and drank like a Navy sailor. I've paid the government their fair share for the pleasure of killing myself, doing serious damage to my health. Not that they care. Bet I paid more tax during that time of addiction and mental affliction than some of the wealthiest on the planet. This attack on the disabled has to go. That's why I'm calling it out. We need to stand up and shout. Can't rely on having human rights. This sick Tory fantasy is as dark as nights. Only a few rights remain. Since leaving Europe, the world's gone insane. Apparently, we need to get rid of this mental health culture. Don't they get it? The new generations see no future. In this media-led biased worldview, we don't even know what's true. This is nothing new. Conservatives look after the interests of only a few, and the rest of us dash around in this illusion of freedom, the biggest delusion ever created since electronic records began, must be the madness of mental health. The only power I have time for is that of a flower, from now till forever. The government are a fascist regime. Report the Prime Minister and his chums for inciting hate crimes. Now is the time. Also for slandering disabled people, calling them work shy. Surely he can't deny. It's splashed all over the papers. The sick are signed off and lazy. Headline news must be true. I think I'm going crazy. He's using a position of power, his political ivory tower, to set his own warped personal agenda against a minority of the population. I want an explanation about this very public subjugation. That's it.
Vicky, that's it. I tell you what, every hour I have ever spent with you, that has to be the greatest I've ever heard from you. Like, thank God that you and I met, and thank God that you're going around telling people exactly what you think. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I just say that if anybody doesn't see that and doesn't see what Vicky just read out, the fact that the situation has caused people to write things like that and to explain like that means there's something there, because people don't just pluck that out. That rhymes, pluck that out of thin air. I wasn't trying to rhyme that, but boy didn't know it. But you know, in order to create that sort of feeling, you've got to really try. Okay, so I don't know. So you know, that's what I'm going to say, because I know people can just be, oh, yeah, this, that, and the other, but no, you know, and well done, Vicky. It was absolutely brilliant.
Incredible, 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 incredible. I can't say anything else but incredible. And thank God this is live to the universe, because it's about time people heard you, Vicky. It is about time. I've only been waiting 20 years. Alexia, you've put your camera on. Good evening. We have 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm in so much pain with my leg. I've never had so much pain with my leg. I'm rocking backwards and forwards. I'm
Oh,
going
my
absolutely
Lord.
mad.
Can
Yeah, go for it.
I do anything for you? Is there anything that you could
I don't know. It's problem. It's only just started doing this, but the travelling today obviously didn't like it.
No. Why don't you go to bed and have a rest? We're going to be finished here in a
I
minute.
think I'm going to have to give in and go and have a bath. I didn't want to.
Give in. Go and have a relax. Have you got any Epsom salts?
I've got something better than Epsom salts. That what's her name who does the rooms normally, Sharon. She put me on this milk bath with arnica in it. Oh my God, the relaxation of putting just one drop of that in the bath. I've never slept so well.
Right, I'll see you later then. Off you go to your arnica bath, and why don't you send me a picture of it? Then I might have some.
I'll send you a picture because it's all natural.
Oh, it's in a bath, so it doesn't matter. I can't get in the bath. No, I'm lying. At the place I live, at the day place that I go to, there's a bloody bath I can get in with a hoist. I am honestly thinking about asking my manager if I can get in the bath.
Yeah, but you could just use it in in a bowl for your feet. You could do it that way.
Good idea. That's a good idea. Right, go and get your bowl done. Go and get your bath.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys, but I really, well, you know me.
Don't apologise, Alexia.
I'm literally going like this while
anyway, if you don't go, you'll be no good for university tomorrow. So go on. Get up.
Okay, nighty nighty.
No.
Alexia.
God bless. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Night. Yeah, Alexia's at university, so she needs to go and learn. My eldest student at the moment, 78, Vicky.
Oh wow! Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
they're doing a creative. No, they're doing what they're doing. Creative writing undergraduate. They are now selling whole food, and they've just produced their first book, and they're coming on Friday to talk as well. So they're from North Wales. They're from.
All right, cool.
They're amazing people that are coming out. I just can't wait. And we've got a roving report. We've got our cameraman. And really, I know you can't make it to Wales on Friday, but virtually you might be able to.
Yeah.
On the virtual panel like this, we will have you in front of everybody. So if you're around, we're 6 till 9 on Friday night. But I understand if it's Bank Holiday Friday, Good Friday, whatever it is, and you're all busy.
Oh,
but
yeah.
If you're not.
Yeah, I can. I might be at a gig after, but I'll be there. I'll be there 6 till 9. Yeah.
Amazing. And please,
what is it on here? Will you send me a link? Whatever. Yeah.
It's just like this, except of course you'll be live in Cardiff Bay.
Yeah, cool.
Instead of live to the whole world, which we will be anyway, but you'll be live to an audience in Cardiff Bay, which I think is very exciting. I think we should be. Wales is quite small. It's like North Yorkshire. I think we can infiltrate Wales.
Yeah, definitely.
They take a universal approach, which means we're halfway there.
Yeah.
They've already got a red lead, as opposed to a blue one. And I'm not saying that any colour's best. I think purple is if you mix them two together. But then I would do, because look at the colour here. Yeah, I think if we put the blue and the red together, we get purple, and that'll do.
Yeah.
And I'm not even an artist, you are, but at least you can tell me that makes purple. I know that.
Yeah, it does.
We'll just ignore UKIP anyway.
Yeah, we've only got a couple of minutes. So please, Christian, go for it.
No, just say we'll do it purple. We'll ignore UKIP.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I didn't say anything about anybody. I didn't say any political party. I just said red and blue make purple. Look.
Yeah, cool.
That's it. Look. Philippa's wearing it. It's all about the purple. Just look. I'm definitely not UKIP. I'm not.
No.
See, I don't look UKIP. I don't smell UKIP.
Sorry, I really shouldn't swear. Anyway.
Oh, don't be mean. They all have an awareness to come to, and it's called inclusion. They'll be fine, every one of them. They'll be all right.
Good.
Just give them a bit of time, a little bit of time, yeah. All right.
Okay.
You what, my love? Have I gone
You've
very dark?
very dark. Yeah.
Very strange. Well, I think maybe that's very weird.
Universe telling us to stop.
I think I've been put into the ether. Wild. I did nothing to do that. I think maybe my mum was having a word. Mum, bug off. Give it a rest. Yeah, I just don't think it's right. I do think there's a crack, though, since I came back. I do think there's a crack in the universe. I do think that it's leaking. I don't think I quite closed it when I returned, to be honest. I don't know who left them, but they're going. Right. Well, I think we should say good night, don't you?
Yeah.
Andrew's gone.
Okay.
Have an amazing rest of your week. If you are with us, we are live in Cardiff Bay on Friday evening at 6 o'clock. Exciting. And we're going to be also live on the social media. And we're going to be live in Cardiff, and we're going to be able to be heard in the Senate. And well, I just can't wait. Make sure you are registered. If you're not registered, you're going to have to find one of us and find the registration. If you look on social media, you'll see some posters around. There's a QR code. Click, register, and come. But even if you haven't found it before you get here, come to the postcode that we tell you, and you can register at the door. It's free of charge. And there's even a free coffee when you get there. So there'll be nobody complaining, because I'm not charging you anything, and I'm giving you a refreshment. So just come. And if you're not registered, get registered. And you don't know who's coming, just find somebody that's coming. There's loads of people staying everywhere, all over Cardiff. I think Cardiff hoteliers everywhere just think they're amazing. So on that note, we're going to run away because I'm tired. I've got to go to bed. I love you all very much. Night.
Bye.
Night.
Night. Boy. Just going to end the stream.